First, let's talk about resumes. A resume is a formal document that job applicants create to itemize their work experience, their educational background, and special skills, and is usually filled with relevant information from experiences within the past 4 to 5 years. Limiting your professional experience to 4 to 5 years can help you showcase your most recent capabilities and work contributions to employers. If you've had a document review appointment with our office in the past, you'll know that we recommend students stay away from templates found on systems such as Microsoft Word. There are several issues concerning Word templates. First, they are usually multicolored and decorated with designs. It is generally a best practice to steer clear of lots of colors and designs on your professional documents, as they tend to be distracting, hard to read, and do look somewhat unprofessional. The exception here would be students who are majoring in graphic design, and showcasing their artistic ability would be a major factor in applying for a job. Next, Word templates tend to use split page formatting and heavily utilize text boxes when creating a document via the template. Most of the time, this type of approach is not ATS friendly. ATS is short for Applicant Tracking System and is a type of software that enables the electronic handling of recruitment and hiring for an employer. The ATS parses a resume's content into categories and then scans it for specific keywords to determine if the job applicant should be passed along to the recruiter. If your information is formatted into text boxes, it may not be correctly placed into the categories within the tracking system, potentially resulting in no job interview or contact from the employer. So be extremely cautious if you do choose to create a resume in Word, and be careful not to utilize any of the text boxes or the pre-made templates. If you type in the URL www.hirensugrads.com, you will be redirected to the Career Services website, where you can find a link to Optimal Resume. Once you're on the website, go ahead and click Resumes and Cover Letters. Then select Optimal Resume, click Register and Login, and this should bring you to NSU's Optimal Resume page. If you have never logged into the platform, you'll start by clicking New User. You will then be prompted for your email address and a few other bits of contact information as you're creating your account. Optimal Resume will use this information to auto-generate your header at the top of each document. If you've already created an account, then start by clicking Login. I will leave a minute or so for people who may want to log in or create an account if they'd like to follow along during this walkthrough process. Okay, once you're logged in, you will now be in the Document Center. As you can see, Optimal Resume has other resource templates to use as well. We will briefly cover those, but the brunt of this walkthrough will be focused on the resume section of the platform. So in order to get started with your resume, you're going to come down and click Create New Resume. It'll then ask you to name the document and then click Start. We generally recommend students start over here in the Browse Samples section, as it is extremely user-friendly. If you scroll down, you'll notice that there are 641 sample templates across 71 pages for you to use. They are organized by major, but you're not required to stick within that template if you like the way that another one looks. So for example, If you happen to like the way this first one looks, but you're not an accounting major, you are free to use that document anyway. So we'll click on the document, use the sample, and then up here, you'll notice that it used your contact information that you provided as you created your account to generate your header. Next, we have each section that may be beneficial for you in applying for a job or a professional program if that's what you're doing. At the very top, we usually recommend that you list your education. Next, any related experiences that you think may be beneficial in helping you land a job or be admitted into a graduate program. So for instance, if you don't have any internships, you can come over here and delete the section completely. Maybe you want to leave your related coursework on the page, but you think that some of these other sections might be more beneficial for the employer to see firsthand. So we can come over here to reorder and move the related coursework section all the way to the bottom and click apply. If you would like to add anything, you can change the section. Maybe we just have work experience. And you want to come in and change these as well. We can click save. And you can customize each section and each section header to fit your needs. You can also come over here to style resume and play with any of the fonts and the layouts or anything else to customize the document to your taste. So maybe we would like to do something a little different. We can change the section headers, fonts, and it will play with the bullet statements as well. You can come over here to layout and adjust the margins as we need. We can come to font, change those as well. You can even pick what type of bullets that you like the best. And if you'd like to separate your sections a little bit more, you can add lines in between those. So we come down to section dividers. And you can customize the document to your taste. Now going back to the Document Center, we will do a brief overview of some of the other useful pieces of Optimal Resume. Go into Create New Letter, give it a name as well. Browse samples. And then they have many types of letters already formatted for anything that might suit your needs. So let's say that you had a job interview that you just finished with, and you would like to send a thank you letter. You can click thank you. It'll provide some templates, use the sample, and then you can come in and edit this document in the same fashion you would as the resume. Now let's look at the Eportfolios. So an ePortfolio is a collection of work in an electronic format that showcases your learning over time. When you think about your ePortfolio and the types of evidence that it contains, it is important to think carefully about its purpose and intended audience. ePortfolios can help learners develop new or deepen their learning, which help learners develop a better sense of themselves as students and as individuals. This can be shared with friends and family members and can showcase your achievements when you're applying for a job. There are a few classes at NSU who require you to create an ePortfolio as part of a class assignment. So we will briefly walk through this in case you come across that in an assignment at some point in time. So let's do admissions portfolio. Use this template. And you can see it's a one-stop shop for you to put your resume and cover letter, letters of recommendation, or any other supporting information that you have. So if you would like to add a project, maybe you'd like to put an introduction in your ePortfolio, you can name the project and then click Add to Files. It will have you upload a file. rename it, and then click Save File. Now you have an introduction as part of your ePortfolio. Maybe you would like your letters of recommendation to be listed before your resume and cover letter. You can come over here, click the green arrows, and move them as you need. The same goes for the documents within each section. So if you'd like your resume to appear before your cover letter, grab the green arrow, and you can toggle them back and forth. Another great tool to use is this practice interview tool. If you click Take Practice Interview, you should be referred to an outside website called Skills First. If you're preparing for an interview, but you don't have time to make an appointment with our office, this can be a great resource to have. So you can click Browse Interviews, and then find an interview that suits your needs. You will then be asked a question for you to practice answering. And then once you're done practicing, you can come up here to Question Coaching, where you will be told what the purpose of the question was and how to answer it. And that concludes today's optimal resume walkthrough. I will give a few minutes for anyone who would like to ask questions. So it looks like someone asked, if I wanted to do a thank you letter, would it auto-generate my information in the header? Yes. Anytime you have a header, once you've put your information into Optimal Resume, it will use that information for every letter or document that you will be using. Are there any other questions? Okay, so it looks like there are no more questions at this time. I do want to thank you all for participating in this presentation and encourage you to reach out to our office for any career-related questions you may have. You can create an appointment with us through your Handshake account by visiting hirensUgrads.com and clicking Handshake. Once you log in, you can click Appointments and make an appointment with a career counselor where you can have your documents reviewed. You can practice a mock interview, or we can give you interview tips and advice. If you have a quick question, you can contact us at careerservices@nsuok.edu or by calling us at 918-444-3110. I also encourage you all to attend our next Wednesday walkthrough on April 7th, which will be covering the NACE competencies. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.